we had a situation where you had Nigerians going, taking their cultist activities to the street of Dubai. They were, using machetes on the road of Dubai. They committed all sorts of funny atrocities, and those are things we need to be clear about. We need to, we have advocated this over and over again. Nigeria as a country and the government of Nigeria must tell Nigerians living abroad that they're ambassadors, and that whatever they do, whether it is positive or negative, would have a direct effect on the perception and the way Nigerians are treated. We are the reason why we're being treated like this. But for me, it is not out of the window. It is something that can be remedied. We're a great country. We have a lot to offer. They have a lot to benefit from us. I will still argue that no matter how badly they have continued to treat us, I don't think there are a group of people that will spend as much as Nigerians spend in Dubai. So I know that if we get our hearts together, do the right thing, they will be very, very happy to have us back. But we definitely need to, do the right thing. I guess I need to also quickly drop this in. I think over time, the way we have behaved is because we're good spenders. We have become very proud. And at the end of the day, we think that no matter how badly we behave, the rest of the world will accept us the way we behave, and that's definitely wrong. We need to be responsible. We need to be careful the way we conduct ourselves, because at the end of the day, we cannot continue to have this kind of treatment, because the way this works is the moment a country denies you, other country will deny you, and your global index will continue to drop at the rate. We are right now rated 91, in the world, and that is really unfortunate. It is only 45 nations that can allow us visa-free or visa on arrival into their country, and for me, that is not something we can allow to continue to deteriorate.
There's also the issue of reciprocity. We did see the United States of America now giving us what many Nigerians never expected. 3 months only, and once you get in, you can use your visa just once. Once you get out, it's done. You cannot extend that 3 months. And while we're also trying to ingest and digest that, here comes the UAE, telling you that you cannot even stop over. You're a publisher, you've traveled wide, you've also been part of some diplomatic missions in terms of understanding how countries can work in bilateral agreements and so on for the benefit of tourism. And how would you rather say this latest development from the UAE will one way impact on Nigeria's relationship with the UAE? Secondly, how would it also beam the touchlight on, in quotes, Nigerians, who we really are? And what do you think the president can do? So that's a 3-in-1 question. What it's going to do to Nigerians, how it's going to affect, especially our relationship with them, and then what the president can do.
Okay, I'd like to start with the last one. The president, with his team, should quickly start to engage the rest of the world, and I mean properly. They must be deliberate about the steps they take. So the idea of just visiting and talking around, and not being specific and being deliberate about what you expect and what you're offering, because again, it's not enough to expect the world to treat you in a particular way. We also must say, look, as a country, this is what we're offering you. If you come into Nigeria, this is our own visa regime. We believe we need to do business with you. We're expecting you to come to Nigeria to do business. And so for that reason, we're offering this visa regime. And so we must take that to the table. I'm proud of what the Minister of Interior is doing, but he needs to do more. He needs to go to Mr. President and explain to Mr. President how important this is, so that they will start to take deliberate steps. The second one is our relationship with them definitely is not in the best of shape. And so this obviously is sort of a reaction to how they feel about us. If you recall, not too long ago, Mr. President and his team went there, and a lot of promises were given, which birthed what was given 2 years ago. And at the end of the day, this is what we are now getting out of that. So in other words, they're not satisfied with the way we have sort of engage with them. We need to revisit it. And I want to beg Nigerians, please don't say they should go to hell. Because you see, the way it works is the moment a country starts to treat you this way, like I said earlier, other countries will treat you the same way. And so we cannot afford it. We cannot stand alone. Nigeria cannot be an island on its own. We need to do business with them. We need to make sure that Nigerians are able to travel to Dubai. And the last question, Nigerians obviously will feel it. Like I said before, a lot of Nigerians have developed business relationship, travel relationships with Dubai, and they're going to be affected, adversely with this development, and I'm sure they're definitely not going to be happy. I even know a lot of Nigerians who have gone ahead to develop investment. They've invested really big in Dubai, and they would not be happy with this development.
Now, Mr. Adeyomo, let's talk about fixing this problem, because it's been here for quite some time. We have the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, we have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and there was a time Nigeria went on a PR blitz. It used to show this advert on CNN, good nation, good people, under the Goodluck Jonathan presidency. We do have a reputation problem, and we're not the most corrupt. We're not even in the top 5 most corrupt countries in the world. You have China with a population of 1 billion plus people. You have India with more than 1 billion people. But when the name Nigeria sticks out like a sore thumb, many times for negative reasons. We have professors in the academia. We have great people doing amazing things. What kind of offensive do we need to go on to change this negative perception of Nigerians? And what's your message to some countries? Because if you look at Nigerians in Australia, you hardly hear any complaints about them. They're model citizens, they're well behaved, there's no cultism. So who takes the blame? Is it the country? Should the countries do a better job at screening the quality of Nigerians that let into their country? Or we Nigerians have to also look inwards and act as responsible ambassadors of the country?
Okay, I'll start by saying Nigerians are very good people. I don't know any country that people go into and they don't want to leave like when they come into Nigeria. But like you have rightly pointed out, we have not done a good work in communicating, even firstly with Nigerians. Each time Nigerians do not like a particular thing, the governments sometimes, in my own opinion, do not even engage Nigerians well enough, to the extent that Nigerians then go on the internet. Now, don't forget the fact that, unfortunately, the borders of communication have been thrown widely open. And so I can sit in my room and start to churn out all sorts of terrible things that could be drawn, because whatever people think or do of you are the information they're able to get. And some of them are gotten from Nigerians, how Nigerians are angry at Nigerians. An incident happens somewhere, people are killed. How do we treat? How does government attend to them? Does government really show empathy? Are we able to say, look, Nigerians, we're here for you and all of that? So first, we cannot continue to allow Nigerians to be as angry as they are today with Nigeria. That's something we cannot afford. And so secondly, Nigerians, we also must understand that no matter how angry we are, we must be careful the communication we put out there, because whether directly or indirectly, what we say negatively about our country will come haunting us like it's haunting us right now. So no matter how angry I am as a person, as a Nigerian, whether I am living here or living out there, I must be careful what I say about my country, because like you said, Nigeria obviously is not the worst. I mean, we're not the worst country in the world in any index. Whatever way we look at it, we're not the worst behaved, we're not the worst in every way. I mean, we can clearly point out a lot of other countries that are, worse off in the things they do, but how do they come talking about their country out there is very, very important. The third thing I would like to quickly point out is that our diplomatic engagement must must be rev off. We can't continue to behave the way we behave. I'm sure you all know that Nigerians' visa and for other nationals to come into Nigeria is definitely difficult. Like I said earlier, I like what the Minister of Interior is doing, but he needs to do more. He needs to work harder and faster. Let other nations see that they can come to Nigeria, because you cannot be asking for something and you're not giving that out. If you go, even as Nigerians at some point in time, if you go out there to want to renew your passport or want to, so you're carrying an American passport and you need to get a visa to come to Nigeria, is usually not the easiest thing to do. So the way we communicate what, we're feeling when we are hurt or when we are angry we must be careful about the way we go about that. Secondly, we must be careful the way the government deals with the people, how they engage the people. They cannot allow them to be angry, because you can't say, we will deal better with non-Nigerians or foreigners and would treat Nigerians badly. Nigerians can, in their room, say things, and at the end of the day, that would have an adverse effect on the image and the way Nigeria is perceived. The third is, all of us, we have the responsibility of ensuring that this nation is treated better, because I say it with a lot of pride, we are one of the best countries in the world if you really break it down and look at all the indices, when you compare to every other country in the world.
But how do we find that very fine balance between speaking against the ills in our society, the things, we've realized that our voice is our strength and our power, and oftentimes we've seen that there have been changes when we call out bad behavior as a nation. And I ask this because Peter Obi at some point spoke about some of the ills in the society, and many people refer to what he was doing as demarketing Nigeria. So at what point, how do we find that balance between rebranding? You said we should be careful about the things we say about our country, that Nigerians can be angry and from their room say things that can paint the nation in a bad light. So how do we find that fine balance between calling things as they are, calling out wrongful behavior, and not painting the nation in a bad light? And do you think that the National Orientation Agency maybe has a role to play in this as well?
Oh, the National Orientation Agency definitely has a role to play. And yes, we need to find a balance. Yeah, no matter how hard or how angry you are with your parents or with your home or where you come from, it beholds on you, whatever, particularly when you're speaking publicly, to be careful what you say out there. And particularly people in the status of Mr. Peter Obi, because truth is, at his level, his words would hold a lot of water. So he needs to be careful the way he sort of coins his word. Because you see, sometimes, we all have a right to be angry. Sometimes when you see things that you really do not like, you definitely, as a human being, would want to say things. But whether in the local palace or in the Bible, we all have been taught that we must be careful what we say, because most often when you say those things, you really don't even know how far that thing will travel and how much that thing will affect you, mostly negatively. And so we've been taught as a Nigerian, as a Yoruba man, that we, I don't know whether I'm allowed to do this, but the Yoruba people will say "Enyi loro." In other words, the words are like eggs, and the moment it drops, it scatters, and you're unable to pull it or bring it back together. So as a responsible man, as a responsible Nigerian, as a responsible human being, I must be careful what I say to other people. So if I look you in the face and I say, exactly the way I feel about you, particularly when it's negative, that does not show that I am smart or I am bold and I know how to talk. It just clearly shows that I am not matured enough to coin my words. Because if you say the same about me, the exact way you feel about me, then I probably would not be happy with you or at you. So I want to beg Nigerians, I want to take this opportunity to beg Nigerians that we moderate. Moderation is always very key in everything we do, particularly in the way we communicate and express our displeasure, our anger, because I must confess that we have done a very bad job. I mean, even if you look at Nigerians who are outside of there, I mean, not too long ago, Miss Kemi Buckner said a sort of things about Nigeria. We've had a lot of, very big, strong Nigerians out there saying things that are really not, I believe, are not the healthiest thing to be saying about their country, because we all agree that we're definitely not, if you want to put it on any scale compared to any country in the world, we're not the worst country in the world. We are definitely not as bad as sometimes paint ourselves. So we must do a good job. The national orientation must find ways. They must engage people. And I think sometimes some of the things they do is too one way. They need to engage more, go into the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, engage Nigerians, take ideas more on board. Yes, they are the one that is, entrusted with the responsibility, but they need to invest creativity, go into, maybe media organizations and all that, and sit people down and let's look at how better we can start to market Nigeria and not demarket Nigeria as most of us. And I must say that I'm not exonerated from this. Most of us have done over the years. It is time to start to see that obviously have an adverse effect on our country at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwaseyi Adeyemo, for speaking with us, global affairs analyst, diplomatic and tourism expert.